Welcome to yet another FPL video. Now, it is a freakish week. There's no doubt about it. I know most people did badly. There will be some people who did very well. And anyone who got even above 40 points, that's a good week. 30 is about, that's better than the average. You'd be happy with that. If you get 20 or lower, of course, that's pretty much the average or lower, and you're having a bad week. In my case, I've got 23 points, minus 8 because I made 3 transfers last week. That's 15 points. But the main thing that I see, which is a good indication of how badly most people are doing, is my overall rank. I was 330k last week, and by taking a minus 8 and having 15 points this week, I'm still in the top million. And if Salah and Arnold produce today, then yeah, I can go up a bit. But it's been a disastrous week. I won't sugarcoat it. I had 2 very good weeks, 70 plus points, but it's very hard to maintain that level of consistency because not every player is consistent, even those in your team, as much as you think that they are consistent. But yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And yeah, where do you begin? Like, Wolves losing 4-0 to West Ham with Jimenez scoring an own goal. Then you have Man City losing 5-2 after opening the scoring at home to Leicester with 3 penalties given in a single match for the first time, I think, ever in a Premier League match. Absolutely unbelievable. Then you have United scoring a penalty after the whistle's been blown. And yeah, I get it. It's not as bad as maybe it sounds and all of that. Okay, whatever. But still, like, this week has just been completely crazy. Then you have a last-minute penalty for Newcastle, which I have to say it was not a penalty. But if you think about it, it's the new rules. The new rules are stupid. So yeah, going by the rule book, it's a penalty. But there's just so many penalties being given this season, and I don't like the way officiating and football has been going for years now. But this year is just another level of stupidity, in my opinion. But those are the rules. There's going to be more goals scored, a lot more penalties, a lot more contentious decisions. Even though we brought in VAR, we brought in all these new rulings supposedly to kind of eliminate all these contentious decisions. Instead, it's just fueling more. But anyway, looking at my week, geez, I don't even know if I want to at this point. But let's just say in short, McCarthy and Calvert-Lewin are the only ones to produce for me. And yeah, I've still got Salah, I've still got Arnold. But apart from that, an absolute disastrous week. So I'll just go in with a quick summary of each player, and then I'll discuss my thoughts going forward. I already made a transfer, but of course that's kind of already put me in a predicament, as we'll discuss later. But McCarthy is in goal, got a clean sheet, and like I said, there is a possibility that McCarthy can get a clean sheet against Burnley away and West Brom at home. And I kept him. Southampton, they sorted out the defence after the shit show against Spurs, and they did very well. I mean, with Burnley, yeah, they're not particularly good this season at the moment anyway. But yeah, very happy with Southampton getting the clean sheet because, I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'd be on pretty much 11 points or less. Like, I really don't want to discuss that. But yeah, very happy with McCarthy, and that's why changing your keepers, you want to keep things as they are. Meslier had an amazing performance, by the way, against Sheffield United, and yeah, it just shows that some assets might start popping up. Maybe Meslier now, if Leeds keep more clean sheets, he can be great asset with save points and with clean sheets. But yeah, it's just too early to tell with a lot of these. You might have played a wild card, you might have taken big hits, maybe like myself, and you just get them wrong. So it's very hard to tell at the moment who is the best asset in each position. But McCarthy, happy with those 6 points. Hopefully gets another clean sheet against West Brom because I really need a big week next week. I mean, most people do, if we're being honest. My defence, first time I play Mitchell, and yeah, he doesn't produce, but he's playing Everton at home. I'm not really expecting that. He's got Chelsea away next. So yeah, not much to say there, but it was actually a good game of football. And I have to say, the penalty there as well, like, I don't know, like, it's just handballs galore basically this season. So yeah, maybe Mitchell's a bit hard done by there, even though I know it wasn't him who gave away the penalty. But Arnold hasn't played yet, so I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I want to win, so I really don't care. I'd rather Arsenal win than Salah and Arnold do well, especially with how this week has gone. But if they do something, if Liverpool win or whatever, they score some goals, I want them to be a part of it out of anyone. But yeah, just wow. And then we go into Roman size. I took a -8 to get this guy, De Bruyne, and James Rodriguez in, and I've got 4 points pretty much overall. 6 because De Bruyne's my captain, but that doesn't really count. But yeah, Roman size, 4 goals conceded to West Ham. Oh my god. West Ham, I did say it, they deserved to beat Arsenal last week, and they played well. But I would never have expected them to go into the next week all guns firing and beating Wolves 4-0. Like, it's just a crazy, crazy season, I think, and some crazy results yet to come. And this might be the hardest, the hardest season in terms of FPL, because you're just not going to know who to have. Like, who's going to be consistent? Who can you just have in your team and set and forget? Because the second I actually have a patient approach from basically game week 1, it just, all these freakish results are popping up out of nowhere. So it's kind of, I want to say hard, but it is challenging to stick to some of these assets, because you just be like, no, he's not good enough. But then maybe next week, Roman Saiss against Fulham at home, he can do well. So I don't know, it's just really early to tell. And in terms of defenders, like, I don't even know. I don't see as many clean sheets as maybe last season or the seasons before that, because, Jesus, the way this season's going, blimey. Reece James, he actually got a bonus point despite having 0 points. But I watched the game, and I have to say, Reece James was probably Chelsea's best player, if not one of their best players, until Hudson-Odoi came on and all that stuff. But Reece James created so many chances, at least 2 of them for Tammy Abraham, and I have to say the finishing was diabolical. But his crossing, he's on set pieces. That's what I like about Reece James. I'm not expecting too many clean sheets from Chelsea anyway. Of course, from the first 3 game weeks, maybe I would have expected 1 against West Brom or Brighton, but it didn't happen. They've got Palace at home and then Southampton at home. Hopefully there's 1 there, and hopefully they can get some attacking returns too. But Reece James, a very good player this season, it seems. Going forward, he just seems to be doing the business. But yeah, Chelsea defensively, like, the absolute shambles. They were 3-0 down to West Brom. That's another result. That was just like, when I was watching it, I was just like, you know what, whatever. And he got a yellow card before they conceded the 3rd one. So yeah, they made a comeback. Reece James, like I said, that's the kind of performance that you look at and you're like, well, he got 1 point, but there's a reason he got the bonus. There's a reason why I probably should keep him. And yeah, Reece James, very good performance, to be honest, but just the 1 point. Now with Son, he gets injured at half time. He hit the post twice. Like, I don't know, like this is, well, if I actually try to contemplate how crazy this week has been, then yeah, I'll just be here all day. So yeah, Son injured, and probably not going to play against Manchester United away, and even then I wouldn't be expecting too many returns against United, even if he played. But if he's out for time, then yeah, I have to look for a replacement. But yeah, after that, some pretty good fixtures there, on paper anyway. But what does paper mean when you just turns into paper mache, mate? Because I don't know, it's just, maybe they'll lose to West Ham, who knows. De Bruyne captain, yeah, like, I have to say, Ndidi being out, Leicester just conceding goals each game, and they conceded another 2 goals, but De Bruyne wasn't involved in any of them. And Leicester, they won 3 penalties in a game. Like, wow. And I have to say, City's defence, once again, it could let them down, and then Liverpool win the title. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, very disappointed in City and in KDB, but it's really hard to keep on producing going forward when your defence is an absolute shambles, and even the midfield, they don't offer enough protection to the defence. As soon as Fernandinho came off, it went downhill for City. So yeah, not very good there. Salah, like I said, we'll see what he does today. Him and Arnold are pretty much the saving grace of this week, potentially, maybe to get up to, I don't know, maybe 25 points in my case, but maybe that's too much to ask for. James Rodriguez, I have to say, what a performance. The pass he made to Seamus Coleman, and then Coleman cut it back, that's another good pass. It's just, that's what James brings, but of course, there's always that issue where he might get the pass before the assist, but you don't get any points for it. But that's how the cookie crumbles. That's James Rodriguez. Apart from goals and assists, he can dictate the game, and he can just open up defences like that. But yeah, promising signs. And at 7.5 million, you can't get many better. Of course, another alternative is maybe to get someone like Robertson in defence and then kind of downgrade in that position. But yeah, I just brought him in, especially on a hit. I'm going to give him time to prove himself. And yeah, I'm expecting him to do something within the next few games. Calvert-Lewin, thank you. My only scorer this week so far. The only one to score a goal. And of course, thank you, McCarthy, for the clean sheet. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin is just on absolute fire right now. He's actually someone I might captain next week, because that's how this season's going. Calvert-Lewin and Everton are looking very good. And I don't know, like with all the big hitters, maybe it's time to focus more on strikers. Maybe get the template 3 forwards, Jimenez, Calvert-Lewin and Danny Ings. If not, maybe Jamie Vardy. Like, oh my God. But yeah, Calvert-Lewin, he's just producing. His price has gone up already to 7.4. I have to say, I'm not blowing smoke or whatever the saying is, but I brought him in just before he went up to 7.1 million. After his performance against Spurs, I like what I saw, and especially with Everton and with him, and I brought him in and I'm happy. And yeah, he's staying in my team for sure. Like, I'd be a fool to get rid of him, and hopefully he stays fit. Timo Werner, they're 3-0 down, Chelsea, and then they bring on Giroud, they bring on Tammy Abraham, all this stuff. Well, Tammy Abraham started the game, I think, but Werner's being shifted to the left and he's playing deep, and I don't know, like, it's just the ball seems to bounce off him. He's not really, he doesn't exude that confidence at the moment. And like I keep saying, I'm like a broken record, but Pulisic and Ziyech, I think, will bring out the best of Werner. But can you wait long enough like for that to happen? Because for 9.5 million, you want someone who doesn't rely on other players, who can just produce. Yeah, he won 2 penalties in the first 2 games, but then against West Brom, he hit the crossbar. It's just all these nearlies, these ifs, buts, maybes, but they don't get you points. And I have to say, maybe there are better options like Jamie Vardy, like Raul Jimenez, like Danny Ings. But yeah, if you have him, if you have other issues in your team like Son, then yeah, maybe address those first and give this guy these next 2 games. But if he doesn't produce in these next 2 games, I have to say, like, you're going to be holding on. You'll probably be 9.3 million at this time, or 9.2, and it'll be harder for you to get the players you want. But yeah, Timo Werner, very disappointed. I thought he'd get at least a goal in his first 3 games. He hasn't. He's only got 1 FPL assist, but that's how it is. In terms of the bench, yeah, I didn't really miss out on too much, I guess, unless Davis scores a hat-trick, but that would pretty much sum up my week. Anyway, Basuma's back from suspension, so he's not someone I really need to rectify or to pretty much improve on. So yeah, not really bothered. Justin conceded as I expected, but Leicester winning 5-2, just can't believe it. And that's just how it is now. In terms of my team for game week 4, this is how I'm looking so far, and I'll just say it right now. I made 1 transfer. This was straight after the Chelsea game was done, and it wasn't reactionary or rage. It was something that I said in my last video. If Werner blanks against West Brom, I'm going to get Jimenez in. And that's just someone I had in mind because of their fixtures, because of Wolves. But then again, making that transfer before the Wolves versus West Ham game might seem foolish now because they got absolutely smacked. And he scored an own goal. Jimenez scored an own goal. Wow. But Fulham at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, Palace at home. I'd expect some returns. And even then, with Wolves and Jimenez, to be honest, they step up their game for the big games anyway. So maybe against Leicester away, Southampton at home, Arsenal away, Liverpool away, maybe there's more returns there than all the green fixtures that you see there. But Jimenez is fixture proof. 1 own goal isn't going to change my mind about him. I got him in for a reason. He's a consistent player. He can get you 6 to 8 points pretty much every week, maybe 9. And yeah, gets a lot of bonus points. He's the main man for Wolves. So yeah, he's the transfer I made. In for Timo Werner. That was probably a mistake because then Son is flagged now. But I will say about Heung-min Son, in my case anyway, because I know a lot of you will be asking me who should I get in for Heung-min Son. The answer is truthfully, right now, I do not know. I really don't know because when Pulisic and Ziyech are back, I would recommend them, but we have to see how they play first and how they bed in, how Chelsea are doing. And then there's Rashford and Bruno. To be honest, Bruno's the type to have a really bad game, like against Brighton, and then he still gets points. So yeah, Bruno would be the obvious upgrade in that regard. I don't have enough money to do that. I'd be $500,000 short, unfortunately. Otherwise, that's probably someone I'd bring in now on a -4. And I still could take a -4, by the way, and I'll let you guys know in a team update video. But as of now, what I might be doing is holding him because straight after the weekend, when they play Manchester United away, there's an international break of a few weeks, and maybe Son could be back for their game after against West Ham at home or maybe Burnley away. But of course, I wouldn't want to keep him if he's going to miss the next 2 games, for sure. So I'll be waiting for team news. I'll see how he's doing, but Mourinho apparently said he's going to be out for a long time. And whether that means far beyond the international break and going into weeks, months, maybe into November, the late games of October, no one knows at the moment. But it's just the way this week has gone. Like Son could have been on a double-digit haul and Spurs would have won, but instead Spurs draw, he gets injured and he's got 1 point. So yeah, and I know people triple captain him and captain him. That's very unfortunate. But I don't know, like I didn't see enough anyway to captain Son even after his 4 goals. But I mean, I captained De Bruyne, so I'm not really celebrating other people getting the captaincy wrong because I haven't got it right either. But in terms of captaincy, I have to say my early thoughts, and of course I will reveal my team later on this week. At the moment, I'm thinking of Calvert-Lewin. I really am, because with Manchester City, I don't know, like they're giving me vibes of last season where they have some very good games where they score multiple goals, they beat a very good team like Wolves, and then they just completely bug out and the defense just lets them down. They concede multiple goals, they just crumble, and then the likes of De Bruyne just they can't produce as they can because the rest of the team isn't good enough. But I have to say with Man City, there's no Aguero, there's no Jesus, and as much as Jesus misses a lot of chances, he does offer them something else that Sterling up front doesn't do, and Sterling plays better at least on the left or on the right when Jesus is down the middle, and it's not happening there. And I don't think it's the same when De Bruyne is playing in through balls or crossing the ball into Sterling than it is when it's Aguero or Jesus. You'd rather have Sterling on the wing and then drifting inside, not staying centrally pretty much. That's why I'm a bit concerned about City. He was actually my captain. He was set as my captain, but after the Leicester game, that's just completely, it set so many doubts in my mind. But then again, City in the last away game did very well. De Bruyne is very consistent. He's not the type to blank 2, 3, 4 times in a row. There's a reason I brought him in. Salah, maybe. I know away from home he's not ideal, but it's Aston Villa away. We'll see how he does today against Arsenal. And Liverpool might be the best team in the league again this season. Son, of course, I'm not going to captain, or vice captain. He's probably not going to play. So if I keep him, he'll probably just be substituted for Basuma or Mitchell, most likely Basuma. I'll just take the 1 or 2 points or whatever that I get, hopefully free for a clean sheet from Basuma. Well, actually, no, because I've got Everton players. But yeah, you see, so many conflicting interests. But just hopefully I get some points from the bench, and then I can decide what to do with Son. And I can have a better idea of who to replace him with, or maybe I can just hold him and have him for the West Ham game after the international break. Salah, De Bruyne, there's still captaincy options, don't get me wrong. I'm not talking anyone out of not captaining De Bruyne or Sterling. I'm just saying I have doubts now after seeing the Leicester game. And even Jimenez or Calvert-Lewin, I have to say I wouldn't captain James Rodriguez, I think, because he might have a 9 out of 10 performance against Brighton, but he doesn't get the assists or goals. That's what could happen with him. But with Lewin and with Jimenez, they could get most of the goals and the points against the teams that they're facing, Brighton and Fulham respectively. So, I have to say the captaincy options are between these 4, the 2 strikers and Salah and De Bruyne. And at the moment, I'm leaning towards Calvert-Lewin because of his consistency. And yes, everyone knows that it's not sustainable. He's not going to keep up all the time. Like, it's kind of obvious. But if he does, and he's my captain, then I'll just be happy. It's just happy days. A lot of people are still not captaining Lewin because you still want to captain the big hitters, the ones who are more explosive. But then again, I rather consistency. And if you don't know if Salah's going to do good away from home, if De Bruyne is going to do well because City are just awful at times, then why not captain Jimenez or Calvert-Lewin? Like, that's where I could be heading at the moment. But these are raw thoughts. That's what this video is for. Raw thoughts after a game week. And it still hasn't finished yet. So if Salah puts on a masterclass against Arsenal, maybe he's my captain. But at the moment I've got the captaincy on Calvert-Lewin. And at the moment I'm holding Heung-min Son. I already made my free transfer. Timo Werner to Raul Jimenez. And I have to say, a lot of people will be considering to wildcard. Or they've already played the wildcard and it hasn't turned out well. Well, I have to say, most people are doing badly. So I wouldn't look too much into this week. If it happens in the next game week, then yes, be concerned and make the necessary actions to rectify all the mistakes and all the problems in your team. But it's a freak week. Like, no one would have expected Wolves to lose 4-0 or for Man City to lose 5-2. Pretty much all the captaincy options flopped. Salah's the only one left. We'll see how he does with Trent. And also I have to say, before wrapping up this video, if you look at the fixtures on paper, this should, on paper, get a lot of points. Because I got McCarthy at home to West Brom. Then you got Saiss and Jimenez at home to Fulham. De Bruyne against Leeds away. That could be a very open game and probably one of the best games to watch in the weekend. Forget Son. It'll probably be Basuma against Everton away, but he's just there to get a point or two. Calvert-Lewin and James against Brighton at home. Justin at home to West Ham. Reece James at home to Palace. And then Arnold and Salah away to Villa. Like, those are very good fixtures, and you would expect a good amount of points. Definitely better than this week. And if it's not, then I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, the way this season's going so far. But yeah, you'd expect points. That's why I wouldn't think of wildcarding in my case, and I wouldn't want to take hits because I'd just be happy with that team. With Son, I would expect 2 points anyway against Man United away. So Basuma coming in, me holding Son for now, taking no hits, is probably the best choice to make, but I'll see what happens. But yeah, one transfer I can make as well, which is something I'm considering, is Son to Rashford, and that's something I considered after game week 1, but you know, good that I didn't do that because Son scored 4 against Southampton. But yeah, that's my team for game week 4, and those are my thoughts. That's how I did in game week 3. Let me know how you lot did in the comment section down below. Hopefully you lot did better than I did, because yeah, a very poor week, 15 points so far with 2 players left to play. And yeah, this is why it's probably best not to take too many hits, and probably best not to use your wildcard already, because so many options are coming out. Everyone wants Bruno now after his point haul against Brighton, and that's just the way FPL is every single season, and the beginning is always difficult to navigate, but once you get through that, I think it gets better. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, smash it, and subscribe if you're new. Share this video around with your friends and family. Turn on the notification bell. I will be doing a team reveal, and if anything changes, I'll let you know. But at the moment, this is how things stand. Calvert-Lewin is my captain. I'm holding on Son. I brought in Raul Jimenez in for Timo Werner, and maybe I should have waited and maybe get Danny Ings instead. He's got West Brom at home. But yeah, I'm sticking to my decision at the moment. And I will say, something I am considering for the future is getting rid of Davis and getting in Danny Ings, and potentially, I don't know, making money elsewhere, either by downgrading Son or Trent or someone like that. Probably Son at the moment, considering he's injured. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I do not want to take hits, I'm being honest, because I've taken hits this week, and just, yeah, 23 points would have been pretty much, below average, and I'm getting 15, which is half the average, nearly. So yeah, just not looking good at the moment. But I already said this last week, I will have a bad week, and this is the bad week. I mean, hopefully it's the worst one I have this year, but yeah, you just have to firm it. You have to think logically. Don't react. Don't overreact, for sure. Just keep a head on you, and yeah, things will be fine. Like I said, I'm very confident in this team for game week 4. There's no reason to just rage transfer and completely undermine everything I've been building from game week 1. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and good luck with game week 4. Good luck with the rest of your games for game week 3, whoever you have left. Good luck, and yeah, hopefully Arsenal win. But thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.